I didn't go to that city for adventure. I went there for silence. Life in the city had become overwhelming. Constant noise, constant pressure, constant movement. So when I found a cheap guest house in a place I had never even heard of, I booked it without thinking twice. The place was called Millhaven. At least, that's what the sign at the bus stop said. The moment I stepped off the bus, something felt wrong. Not scary, not exactly. Just wrong in a way I couldn't explain. The streets were empty. No traffic. No dogs. No children. No life. Only wind moving through old wooden houses that looked like they hadn't been touched in years. The driver handed me my bag without looking at me. He asked, "You staying long here?" I said, "A few days." He nodded slowly, like that was the wrong answer. And then he drove away faster than I expected. The guest house was located at the edge of town. Old wooden structure. Faded paint. Foggy windows. The woman who gave me the key didn't smile. She simply said, "Don't go outside after sunset." I laughed a little, thinking it was a local joke. But she didn't laugh. She repeated it again, slower this time. "After sunset, stay inside." My room was simple. A bed. A chair. A flickering lamp that never felt stable. No phone signal. No Wi-Fi. No sound. Only silence. A deep, heavy silence that felt unnatural. Before sunset, I decided to walk around the town. The more I explored, the stranger it felt. Every house had its curtains tightly shut. No movement inside. No shadows. Nothing. Yet everything looked maintained. Clean streets. Fresh paint. No dust. That contradiction unsettled me. If no one lived here, who was keeping it all clean? In the center of the town stood an old clock tower. Rust-covered. Frozen at exactly 3:17. Below it, something carved into the ground caught my attention. Names. Hundreds of names carved into the stone. Some old, some fresh. As if someone had been adding them for years. I crouched down to look closer. One name stood out. Freshly carved. Still sharp. And beside it, a date. Tomorrow. A cold chill ran through my body. And then I heard footsteps behind me. Slow. Deliberate. I turned quickly. No one was there. But the silence felt different now. It felt aware. Like something had noticed me. I returned to the guest house before sunset. The woman was still there. She looked at me and asked, "You saw the names, didn't you?" I didn't answer. She sighed quietly and said, "Tomorrow, they return." That night, sleep never came. The lamp flickered endlessly. And at times, I heard footsteps in the hallway. Slow steps, stopping right outside my door, then fading away again. Around 2 a.m., I heard whispering. Not words. Just broken human-like sounds, as if something was trying to speak for the first time. I opened my eyes. The door was slightly open. Even though I was sure I had locked it. Morning came too fast. I went straight back to the square. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted answers. Maybe I wanted to prove I was imagining everything. But when I reached the clock tower, everything changed. The names on the ground were different. New names had appeared overnight, and one of them made my blood freeze. Mine. Before I could react, the clock tower bell rang. Once. Deep. Heavy. Impossible. There was no mechanism. No power source. Yet it rang. And then I saw them. At the far end of the street. People. Walking slowly toward the square. But something was wrong. Their movements were perfectly synchronized. Their faces were completely blank. No emotion. No expression. Just emptiness. I ran. Back to the guest house. My heart was pounding so hard I could barely think. But when I entered, the woman was gone. The building was empty. And on the wall behind the counter, written in faded ink, was a message. They only come when the names are complete. Outside, the footsteps multiplied, surrounding the building. I rushed upstairs and locked myself inside a room. From the window, I saw the entire town had changed. It was no longer empty. It was full. Silent figures standing in every street, all facing the guest house. Waiting. Watching. Unmoving. Then came the knock on the door. Once. Then again. Slow. Patient. A voice spoke from the other side. You're late. The light in the room went out. Complete darkness swallowed everything. And the last thing I heard was the door slowly opening. Not forced. Not broken. Just opening. As if it had always been meant to,